On the news tonight, Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal defects from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. Court of Appeal affirms federal high court judgment which restrained the People's Democratic Party (PDP) from conducting last year's national convention in Ibadan. 99 suspects involved in various criminal activities arrested during coordinated raid operations carried out across Ondo State. On the foreign scene, Iran names Mujtaba Khamenei to succeed his father, Ali Khamenei, as supreme leader as war intensifies. Good evening, this is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Okoyemuni. Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. The development was confirmed on Monday in a statement issued by the governor's media aide, No Anka, who said the defection followed his principal's engagement with party leaders, elders, and supporters in the state. According to Anka, the governor's decision was influenced by the internal challenges within the People's Democratic Party at both the national and state levels. He further emphasized that the governor remained committed to addressing the security and development needs of the northwestern state. Anka said it had become necessary for the governor to align with a political platform that provides greater unity, stability, and stronger cooperation with the federal government for the benefit of the people. The development increases the number of APC governors across the country to 31. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed the judgment of a federal high court which restrained the People's Democratic Party (PDP) from conducting the national convention held on November 15 and 16, 2025 in Ibadan. Delivering judgment on Monday, a three-member panel of the appellate court dismissed an appeal filed by the PDP challenging the jurisdiction of the Abuja Federal High Court to entertain the suit. Justice Uchechukwu Onyemenam, who delivered the lead judgment, held that PDP violated the constitutional provisions for a convention. Justice Onyemenam agreed that no valid notice of a convention was served on the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) as required by law. The appellate court also held that congresses were not held in more than 14 states as provided by law before the event. Justice Onyemenam held that the matter raised by those who filed the suit at the lower court should not be regarded as internal affairs of the party. The Court of Appeal held that the Federal High Court was right in assuming jurisdiction and granting an order restraining INEC from accepting or recognizing the outcome of a national convention. The court awarded 2 million naira cost against the PDP for filing a frivolous appeal. On October 31, 2025, the Federal High Court in Abuja restrained the PDP from conducting the convention. In the meantime, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed the judgment of a Federal High Court which restrained the People's Democratic Party (PDP) from conducting its national convention over the exclusion of former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido from contesting the chairmanship position. In a unanimous judgment on Monday, a three-member panel of the court held that the PDP defied a valid subsisting order of the Federal High Court stopping the November 15 and 16, 2025 National Convention. The court faulted the argument by the PDP that it went ahead with the convention in obedience of a judgment of another court of coordinate jurisdiction in Oyo. The panel held that it was not for any party in a case to decide on which order to obey or ignore. The court further held that the People's Democratic Party ought to have applied for a stay of execution or lodged an appeal against the judgment. The court also awarded a cost of 2 million naira against the PDP. Amido has sued the party for allegedly denying him the opportunity to purchase the chairmanship nomination form to enable him to participate in the convention. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has dismissed the appeal filed by Ondo State Governor Lokia Aiyedatiwa against a November 24, 2025 ruling by the Federal High Court in Akure challenging his eligibility to contest the next governorship election in the state. In a unanimous judgment, a three-member panel held that the Federal High Court rightly exercised its discretion in granting the plaintiff Akindele Igbuwalu leave to amend his originating summons. Justice Uchechukwu Onyemenam, who read the lead judgment, said Aiyedatiwa failed to establish that the trial judge's decision caused him injustice or denied him the right to fair hearing. The appellate court dismissed the governor's appeal for lacking merit and awarded 2 million naira in costs against him. Earlier, the court had also dismissed an application filed by Aiyedatiwa seeking to set aside an order made on January 27, 2026, which stayed further proceedings and is still before the Federal High Court in Akure. Additionally, the court awarded 1 million naira in costs against the governor for the application to set aside its order. In Rivers State, the House of Assembly has approved the appointment of 5 out of the 9 commissioner nominees submitted by Governor Eno Sinalai Fubara to Parliament without the confirmation of 4 nominees: Charity Demua, Samuno Williams, Otonye Amatri, and Datonye Alasia. Amatri's confirmation was set aside over petitions against him. Lawmakers stepped down the confirmation of Alasia, the former Deputy Chief Medical Director of the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, after expressing satisfaction with his responses during the screening. Demoa was not cleared after she allegedly failed to present valid tax clearance certificate, while Williams could not secure the Assembly's approval over his previous remark on the Rivers political crisis. The Olowo of Kuta, Oba Ahmed Oyelude Makama, has called on candidates in the forthcoming Osun State governorship election to place the interest of the state above personal ambition. The monarch made the call while receiving the newly elected executives of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, Osun State Council, who paid him a courtesy visit led by their chairman, Comrade Adeyemi Abodere, and Secretary, Comrade Olalekan Akindoju. The meeting took place shortly after the monarch hosted his 2026 Ramadan lecture at his palace in Kuta. Speaking during the visit, the Olowo of Kuta stressed the need for political actors to prioritize peace, unity, and development of the state as preparations begin ahead of the governorship election. Oba Yelude also urged Nigerians to imbibe the virtues of selflessness and tolerance, particularly during the holy month of Ramadan, while encouraging well-meaning individuals to always remember and support the less privileged in society. The Olowo of Kuta, who was previously inducted into the Royal Hall of Fame of the NUJ, Osun Council, commended the union for its role in promoting ethical journalism and strengthening democratic values in the state. Responding, the NUJ chairman, Comrade Abodere, appreciated the monarch for his continued support for the media profession and assured him of the council's commitment to responsible journalism and developmental reporting in Osun State.
We should be selfless. We should remember the needy, those who don't have. We are not fasting because of God. We are fasting for ourselves. Because God wants us to know that if you can afford, others like you cannot afford. So we should be our brother's keeper. My message to all the candidates aspiring to rule our dear state is that they should have fear of God. They should imbibe the lesson and dictum that is being taught during this month of Ramadan. They should have fear of God, and they should put our dear states above primordial sentiments. May God help them.
The Amotekun Corps has apprehended 2 suspected highway robbers during a routine patrol operation along the Ilesha-Ibadan Expressway in Osun State. The suspects, identified as Chima Eze and Sunday Okori, both natives of Ebonyi State and residents of Mowe in Ogun State, were arrested on Saturday, March 7, 2026 at 11:35 p.m. while attempting to rob a vehicle transporting goods from Ibadan. According to a statement by the spokesperson of the Corps, Yusuf Abbas, the suspects and their accomplices had set up a trap along the highway in an attempt to intercept the commercial vehicle. However, the driver of the vehicle managed to escape from the ambush and immediately alerted nearby operatives of the Amotekun Corps, who were on routine patrol in the area. He added that the suspect would be handed over to the DSS for further questioning and legal proceedings. As part of efforts to improve the security system of Nigeria, 50,000 trainees are being screened by the Police Service Commission as the Nigerian Police Force begins the recruitment exercise today. Applicants from all the local governments in Osun State trooped into the police headquarters in Osogbo, the state capital, for the exercise. Lydia Adegbaju reports.
The screening for recruitment into the Nigerian police force began in earnest today in Osogbo as applicants thronged the Osun State Police Headquarters dressed in white. The recruitment exercise is a three-phased process beginning with screening and documentation, followed by examinations, and will conclude with medicals, which is the final stage of the exercise. Speaking to the team lead, Police Service Commission, Mrs. Adefumilayo Akinyose, an external observer for the exercise, she highlighted some of the processes involved in the exercise. She explained that candidates were drawn from across the local governments in Osun State to foster equitable distribution of applicants aged 18 and above.
This particular recruitment exercise is in three phases. This first phase is the screening phase. Afterwards, those who are qualified will go on to writing the CBT exams. Afterwards, those who are successful will be called upon to go for the medical. You have to be 18 and above, most definitely. You have to be 18 and above. For the ladies, 1.64, and so sometimes we can take 1.63, and then for the guys, just a little bit higher.
Speaking on the essence of the recruitment, the Commandant Police Training College, ACP Yusuf Aderemi, explained that it was prompted by shortage of personnel in Nigeria, as well as the need to boost security apparatus in the country.
Nigeria police will have shortage of personnel. As a result of that, the federal government thought it didn't fit. We should train 50,000 across the board.
In her evaluation, Mrs. Akiyose noted that the exercise will be transparent, free and age-free, as promised by the administration of the Chairman Police Service Commission, Hashim Argungu. Similarly, ACP Aderemi stated that the applicants during orientation have been warned to shun any inducement.
This exercise is totally free. No one is expected to pay a dime for this process. You are not expected to be induced by anyone to pay a dime. Our chairman has reiterated that severally. So this particular process is free and fair. So Osun individuals should be very certain and they should be sure that this time around things will go on better than expected.
We have already lectured all the applicants that they should not listen to anybody. They should come immediately to fit. We endorse them. We send it back to where we have started. That was the Police Service Commission. From there now, they've subjected them to the exam at the end of the time of the assignment.
The team lead, however, urged candidates to go for further training in computer proficiency, as the next stage of the exercise will be computer-based.
And then our candidates who have shown interest and who are here, as you can see, after this phase, they should warm up for the computer-based test. So for those of our children who don't have a computer proficiency, they should go and do a little bit of tidying up. They should go back and ensure that they know how to use a computer, because the next phase is a computer-based examination. After that phase, then they would be invited for the medicals.
The screening exercise continues and will end on April 18. Lydia Adegbaju, Western Spring Television News.
Amnesty International has called on communities in Osun State to act collectively against social, cultural, and institutional obstacles that limit access to justice for women and girls. The organization surveys while conducting an outreach at Abagboro community in Ife Central Local Government Area of Osun State to mark the 2026 International Women's Day. The human rights organization also engaged the Olowa of Elefowa Alice Palace in Abagboro, Obadetunji Adebola, urging stakeholders to strengthen support system that safeguard the rights and dignity of women and girls. Speaking during the outreach, Osun State Coordinator of Amnesty International Nigeria Supporters Group, Joshua Oyebode, emphasized the importance of protecting the rights of women and girls in society. He lamented that despite laws in Nigeria The views with the protection of the right of women, implementation remains big challenge. In his remarks, Obadebola assured that he will use his traditional tool to uphold rights of women and ensure that laws protecting women and girl child are implemented without bias. The outreach focused on educating women, girls, and community members on their rights, available legal protections, and channels for seeking justice in cases of abuse or discrimination.
Particularly, the theme for this year's celebration at Amnesty International is justice for her. Justice for her. I mean, justice for the girl child, justice for the women, justice for ladies. And if you're talking about justice, we cannot get justice by just wishing for it. We have to work towards it. And one of the steps we have to take is to engage communities like this on how they can address issues of rights violations to women and girls, and the appropriate steps they can take when issues arise, when issues like gender-based violence or sexual violence arise, the appropriate steps for them to take.
Elephant is a kingdom that operates under the law and regulation of Nigeria or some state law. And we also abide by the law of the land. Unto the right of a woman or a lady, we do not just handle lady, we handle them carefully because it is in our culture.
Wọ́n bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa jíjà ìjà òtítọ́ ìjà òtítọ́ fún àwọn obìnrin. Wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ nípa pé bá a ṣe lè máa tọ́jú àwọn ọmọ wa lọ́nà tó tọ́ àti ọ̀nà tó yẹ, pé àwọn obìnrin náà a lè ní iṣẹ́, dẹ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe máa ń fipá bá ọmọbìnrin lò pọ̀, pé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tí a lè gbé.
The Joint Nations Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced a total remittance of 1.5 billion naira to computer-based test centers nationwide. The disclosure was contained in the latest bulletin released by the board and signed by Public Communication Advisor Fabian Benjamin. Payments were made to centers that participated in the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination Registration Exercise. This comes as the 2026 UTME, scheduled to hold nationwide from April 16 to April 25, 2026, draws near. According to the board, the payment represents the 700 naira registration charge collected on behalf of CBT centers from candidates during the UTME registration process. JAMB added that the initiative has significantly reduced cases of unauthorized charges by some centers and has strengthened the adoption of a cashless registration process, particularly among privately owned CBT facilities. Still to come, students and teachers of a school in the Ogba area of Lagos narrowly escaped death after four-story building housing the institution collapsed. We'll bring you more on this when we return.